One ritual in the Bible breaks its own rules on purpose. It cleans the unclean. In the very same breath, it dirties the clean. The whole strange process comes down to one cow. Today's video looks at the red heifer, a ritual buried in the book of Numbers. 3 questions guide the story. First, what is this ritual, and why does it seem to break its own logic on purpose? Second, why did ancient rabbis call it the hardest law in the entire Torah to explain? Third, why are people, right now, in the modern world, still searching for a cow that fits its exact requirements? By the end, this obscure ritual will look like one of the strangest, most self-contradicting laws in the whole Bible. Numbers chapter 19 lays out the rules. The people need a heifer, a young female cow that is completely red, not mostly red, not reddish with a few brown patches mixed in. The text is strict about this. Even 2 non-red hairs on the entire animal can disqualify it completely. The cow also has to be free of any physical defect. It can never have worn a yoke. It can never have done a single day of labor in its life. Finding an animal like that was never easy. Cattle naturally grow hairs of mixed color as they age or shed their coats. A perfectly, entirely red cow with 0 blemishes and 0 work history is genuinely rare. That rarity was likely the whole point. This was never meant to be a routine, everyday sacrifice like so many others in the Torah. Once the priests found a qualifying heifer, the ritual itself got even stranger. The animal is led outside the camp entirely, away from where every other sacrifice happens. A priest sprinkles some of its blood 7 times, aiming it toward the front of the tabernacle. Then the entire animal gets burned. Not just the usual parts either. The hide, the flesh, the blood, and even its waste all go into the fire together. The priest throws in cedar wood, a hyssop branch, and scarlet-colored yarn. All of it burns right along with the cow. Once the fire finishes, someone collects the ashes carefully. Those ashes get stored outside the camp, kept ready for later use. Whenever the ashes are needed, someone mixes a small amount with fresh water. That mixture becomes what the Bible calls the water of purification. This was not some rare emergency procedure either. Death was a constant presence in the ancient world. Soldiers handled bodies after battles. Family members prepared loved ones for burial. Midwives sometimes lost mothers or infants during childbirth. Anyone who touched a corpse, a grave, or even a bone needed this exact purification before they could worship again. That means the red heifer's ashes were probably in steady, ongoing demand, not sitting untouched on some back shelf. Here comes the twist that has confused readers for thousands of years. This water of purification cleanses a person who touched a dead body. In the ancient world, touching a corpse made a person ceremonially unclean. That person could not take part in worship again until they were purified properly. The red heifer's ashes fix that exact problem. So far, the ritual sounds like a straightforward cure for a straightforward problem. The stakes for skipping this ritual were serious too. Numbers 19 gives a stark warning about this. Anyone who stayed unclean without going through the purification process would be cut off from the community entirely. That person's presence was said to defile the tabernacle itself, the place where God's presence dwelled among the people. This was not a minor inconvenience or an optional bit of hygiene. It was treated as one of the most serious obligations in the whole purity system. Except the text does not stop there. Read closely, and something bizarre shows up. The priest who burns the heifer becomes unclean simply by doing his job correctly. He has to wash his clothes and bathe in water. Even after doing that, he still remains unclean until evening. The man who gathers up the ashes afterward becomes unclean too, under those exact same terms. Even the man who later sprinkles the purifying water on someone else becomes unclean by doing it. Think about what that actually means. The ashes make an unclean person clean. At the very same time, those same ashes make a clean person unclean. One single substance produces 2 completely opposite results. It all depends only on who touches it and why. Ancient rabbis noticed this immediately. It troubled them for centuries afterward. They even had a specific category for laws like this one. They called them chukim. Those are statutes that exist beyond ordinary human logic. People are expected to obey these laws, even without fully understanding the reason behind them. Jewish tradition even tells a story about King Solomon. He was a man famous for his wisdom throughout the entire ancient world. According to that tradition, Solomon claimed he could understand every single law God had given. Every law, that is, except this one. Solomon wrote entire books full of wisdom and careful observation. Yet on this one specific law, even he came up short. Israel's history had no wiser king than Solomon. If even he could not fully explain the red heifer, ordinary readers were never expected to either. Some rabbis, over the centuries, offered a symbolic explanation worth mentioning here. This explanation is tradition, not something stated directly in the actual text of Numbers. Israel's most infamous failure in the wilderness was building the golden calf. That idol was made from melted jewelry, while Moses was away up on the mountain. Some later rabbis suggested that the red heifer serves as a kind of quiet correction for that old failure. Picture it this way. On one side stands a young cow, treated with the highest possible care and holiness. On the other side stands another young cow-shaped object from Israel's past. That one got treated with the worst kind of misplaced worship imaginable. None of this gets stated in the Bible outright. Still, it is a striking parallel that later generations noticed entirely on their own. Cows even show up elsewhere in the Bible in surprising, unexpected ways. The prophet Amos once compared wealthy, self-indulgent women in Samaria to cows of Bashan. That phrase alone was meant to sting. Bashan was a fertile region east of the Jordan River, known for lush pastures. Its cattle were famous across the ancient world for being especially large and well-fed. Amos was not offering a gentle compliment. Amos used that comparison to criticize people who lived in comfort while ignoring the suffering of others around them. He was one of the Bible's harshest critics of wealth built on other people's misery. Picture the range here. On one end sits a ritual demanding the rarest possible cow. On the other end sits an insult built around the most pampered ones. Either way, cattle carry more symbolic weight in the Bible than most casual readers ever notice. Here is the part that might surprise people the most. This ritual is not just an ancient curiosity, safely locked away in the distant past. Interest in finding a qualifying red heifer never actually stopped completely. In more recent years, groups in both the United States and Israel have worked hard on this exact problem. They have tried to breed and locate cattle that might meet the strict biblical requirements. The goal is to have one ready, just in case such an animal is ever needed again. In September of 2022, several candidate heifers made a long journey. They traveled from ranches in Texas all the way to Israel for inspection by religious authorities there. One by one, nearly every candidate ended up disqualified. Usually, inspectors found just a single stray hair of the wrong color somewhere on the animal's body. As of the most recent reports, the search still continues. Think about that for a moment. A rule written thousands of years ago required an almost impossibly specific animal. That same rule still shapes real searches and real inspections happening today, in the present day. The bar was set impossibly high on purpose, long ago. Remarkably, it still holds up, hair by hair, even now, thousands of years later. So what does all of this add up to? The red heifer ritual takes something ordinary, a simple cow, and turns it into something else entirely. It becomes one of the most paradoxical objects in the whole Bible. It purifies people through fire and ash. In the same motion, it reverses uncleanness in one person while creating brand new uncleanness in another. It resists tidy, simple explanation, even from history's wisest recorded king. Somehow, thousands of years later, people are still out there right now. They are still looking for the one cow rare enough to fit its impossible requirements. The ashes settle, the mystery does not. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to see more content like this, and turn on the notification bell. Also comment what you think below.